Most people come to the Manistee River in Michigan and go home empty-handed. I'm going to show you how the locals do it to catch the massive king salmon that we all want. Alright, first things first, we're going to talk about rod size. You need a medium, heavy, fast action rod. The fast action is so you can feel the weight bouncing on the bottom of the river. Now your rod size, you need at least an 8-foot rod. You can either go carbon fiber or fiberglass, but the fiberglass rods are a lot heavier. So this ugly stick rod is 3 times the weight as this carbon fiber rod, and the carbon fiber rods are way more sensitive. The reason you gotta think about rod weight is because when you're in the river, you're gonna be casting 500 to 1,000 times a day. So your arms are gonna get tired. Most of the time, you're not fighting the fish. You're gonna have to fight the fish a lot harder with a lighter rod, but most of the time you're gonna be casting and not catching fish. Reel size, you need at least a 3,000 size reel. You can go up to a 5,000 size reel as well. The reason for this is because you're gonna be using really heavy line. And if you have like big, heavy 40-pound test on there, you can't wrap it around a lot of times. Now, line size, I always go 20 pound. You can go up to 40 pound, but that's like a cable. You don't really need that heavy. But the bottom limit is probably like 12 pound. A lot of people will run a 20 pound main line and then go down to like a 15-pound leader, or they'll run braided line because it's a lot stronger, and then a mono leader. And the reason that you want a mono leader is because the fish will see the line in the water and move out of the way. You're gonna want this ultra green maximum, and the reason why you want this for your leader is because it'll blend in with the color of the river. It's got a little bit of a green hue to it, and the fish won't be able to see it. All right, now for rigs. First, you're gonna want at least a 4 to number 6 hook size, and you can use skein, and you can float that underneath a bobber, or you can have a bead with a bead stopper 3 inches above your number 4 to 6 hook. Now, you wouldn't normally run both of these at the same time, but the purpose of the video, I'm showing this at the same time. Your float underneath the skein, it's going to be depending on where you are in the river, and you'll have a weight, inline weight, about 10 inches above your skein, so that in the water it kind of floats naturally, and the fish see that and they'll smack it. Your bobber, you're going to run your bobber stop, and then your bead stop, bigger bead so that the smaller bead doesn't run through your bobber, and then your leader. The beads also help when you're winding up. Say you're winding up in the dark, you can't see your bobber. They'll prevent you from smashing the end of your rod tip into your bobber. All right, when you're float fishing, you're gonna want your leader line to be about a foot off the bottom at least, so that those fish can see it floating and swaying in the water. And then 2 to 3 inches up, you're gonna place your bead. So what happens is that these beads will slide around without something to keep them in place. So you have to get these things called bead stoppers, that you put them in, and then you pull down and you'll cinch them in place 2 to 3 inches above the hook. And you do that because when the salmon's swimming upstream, they'll come grab the bead, and you're winding your line in slowly, so it'll hook into the salmon's mouth as it grabs it. Now here's rig number 2. Just a fly, any kind of fly, it doesn't really matter. Certain colors might work better, but fish are just being aggressive, and they're trying to protect their nests from flies, little fish in the river, or they're trying to eat those other fish's eggs because they want theirs to survive. So this rig, you start out with bead to protect your eyelet, and then a sliding weight. You can do an egg drop weight or a pencil weight with a slider like this, or you could just do plain egg drop weight on your main line. Then another bead to protect your leader. And you have your swivel. Any kind of swivel will do. Leader line down to your fly, or you can do the bead 3 inches up like we talked about before. Weight size, 3/8 ounce or up to a 1/2 ounce depending on how fast and how deep the river is. or you could do 7 gram up to 10 gram. That seems to be about good size. Leader length, a lot of old timers say the length of your rod is what your leader should be, but in general, anywhere from 3 feet to even 10 feet. Now the last rig that a lot of people do is just a number 4 to 6 inch hook. You gotta make sure it's 1/2 inch from point to shank. And they just tie on a little piece of yarn. Any color will do. And then they throw it out the same way as all the other ones. Also, you can just do a couple split shot, but I don't really like this rig because the split shot tend to slide down. However, it'll be a lot faster retying because you don't have 3 ties, you just have 1 and then a couple split shot. The last rig people use is called a Storm Thunder Stick. They look like this, they sell them at the bait shops and they work great. I've seen fish come off their beds and just smash these things. A lot of people also use these Arctic spinners. This one's glow in the dark. It'll work great at night. Beads, you can get a whole pack of these online. A lot of them glow in the dark. Those tend to work really well at night. These are the egg drop weights that also work really well. And you don't need a slider for your weight. Also, if you're gonna fish at night, you're gonna need to get yourself a good headlamp. If you plan to land the fish, you're gonna want a giant net like this because those fish can get up to 40 pounds. You're also gonna want a nice pair of waders that go up to your chest so that you can wade far out in the water. Another couple items. You never know what's gonna rain on when you're on a fishing trip. This is a bright sunny day and it's literally raining. So bring your rain gear. Another thing for beginners is get yourself a good pair of polarized sunglasses. This is gonna allow you to see in the river so you know where to step when you have your waders on. This current moves really quick and it's very easy to get swept away. I stepped wrong one time and got water over my waders, just about pooped my pants. Cast out 45-degree angle. And you're gonna wind in slowly. So that line, that leader, that weight's gonna hit the bottom and you're gonna slowly pull that line in, facing downriver so that that line travels parallel to the river. And you're gonna feel it bounce, 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 bounce on the bottom. And when you have a salmon, it's gonna be like a thump rather than just a bounce from the rocks hitting that wave. And then once you get to about 45 degrees again, you can wind up. So what's gonna happen is that when you slowly wind in, this is gonna travel down the river perpendicular and you're gonna slowly pull that line into the salmon's mouth. It's called flossing, or sometimes they do actually hit the beads. Now, where are the salmon gonna be in the river? They're gonna be where the water comes up shallow and then it slopes down. So what they do is like a spot like this. Imagine like this is the flat in the river. The water will come up and keep going. The salmon will sit behind that flat because the water is not moving as much and they can kind of take a break from swimming upriver.